Today, we will go on a field trip to Antarctica. When you go to Antarctica, we will see a lot of cool things like different animals. Like you see here with me, penguins definitely live on Antarctica. And you will see different land forms like ice and desert and tundra. So as we go on a field trip, I wanted to read a book with you guys about Antarctica so we can prepare on to go on our field trip. I hope you like this book about Antarctica because it's filled with so much information about Antarctica. Now let's go learn more about Antarctica. A look at continents exploring Antarctica by Veronica Wilkins. Chapter 1, Icy Land. Let's explore the continent of Antarctica. None attacks dot the landscape. These hills and mountains stick out from the icy ground. The South Pole is the southernmost place on Earth. It's very cold here. How cold? In summer, it's around negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit. In winter, it is even colder. Around negative 76 degrees Fahrenheit is normal. So friends, in their summertime, it's much colder than our winter time up here in where we live. Wow, that must be very, very cold for them. They'll need a lot of big jackets. All right. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent. An ice sheet covers about 97% of it. It is surrounded by oceans. It is the continent farthest south of the equator. This imaginary line divides Earth into hemispheres, which means it divides the sphere, which is the shape of our Earth, in the middle. Antarctica is in the southern hemisphere. So we live up here, friends. We live up here. Antarctica is all the way down here. It's about 18 and a half hours to get there. It takes about 18 and a half hours to get there when we take the airplane. East Antarctica is a large ice-covered plateau. West Antarctica has many islands. They are connected by ice. The Antarctic mountains cross the center. Winter and summer are the only seasons here. They don't have spring, they don't have fall. That's no fun. In winter, it can be dark for 24 hours. In summer, it can be light for 24 hours. What? How can they have 24 hours of sunlight or darkness? Here, let's look at this picture. This will help us understand. Earth is tilted. That means it's a little sideways, like this. As it orbits the sun. That means it goes around the sun. As it orbits, the poles are closer or farther from the sun. During the winter, South Pole is far from the sun, and it's closer in summer. So when the South Pole, where Antarctica is, when it's farther from the sun in wintertime, they don't have any sunlight. But when it's closer to the sun in summertime, then they have sunlight for 24 hours. The Antarctic Peninsula is in the west. Many volcanoes are here. The Ross Sea and Weddell Sea are too. They are usually covered in ice. Sometimes icebergs break off. This is called calving. Look at this big chunk of iceberg that broke off from the sea. Friends, I know a lot of my friends love volcanoes. Did you know Mount Erebus is on Ross Island? This active volcano, which means it still erupts. It can erupt and the volcano might pour out lava anytime. The sides are now snow-covered, but steam rises from the top. That's how cold it is, friends. Even though the volcano can erupt and pour lava out anytime, it's still covered in snow because Antarctica is so cold. Chapter 2, polar plants and animals. The climate here is polar. It is very cold and windy. Few plants and animals can survive. Most plants here are lichens. They covered hard surfaces like rock. They grow very slowly. So friends, look at this little plants. These plants grow on rocks and they grow very slowly in this cold Antarctica. Antarctic petrel and South Polar skua are birds here. They often nest on rocky cliffs. Parents must sit on eggs to keep them from freezing. To eat, emperor penguins dive and swim. Why? Can penguins fly? These penguins, they cannot fly. Instead, they catch fish in the icy waters. On land, penguins huddle for warmth. Young penguins are in the center. They are protected from the wind. Many animals live in the ocean here. Like what? Weddell seals dive for fish. They breathe through cracks and holes in the ice. Sometimes they cannot find one, so they make one with their teeth. So if they can't find a hole to breathe, they use their teeth to break the ice so they can have holes that they can breathe through. Whales swim in these waters too. You might also find squid, porpoises, and dolphins. Chapter 3, people in Antarctica. People have been coming here to learn more about the land for years. Around 1900, men began to lead trips onto the ice. Robert F. Scott and Ernest Shackleton were two. In 1959, 12 countries signed the Antarctic Treaty. What did it say? The continent would only be used for scientific studies. Now, mostly researchers come here. So researchers are people who study about a certain topic. So these researchers who come to Antarctica come to study about different things in Antarctica. Here we go. Now let's talk about what they study. Scientists study the effects of climate change here. They note how much the ice is melting. This continent is mostly ice, but there are many things to research. Would you like to study and explore Antarctica? Friends, would you like to go and live and study in Antarctica? I think it'll be very, very cool. We'll learn so much. You just have to make sure to bring a lot of warm jackets. Friends, that was a lot of information about Antarctica. I hope you guys learned a lot. My favorite was learning about different animals on Antarctica. Now, what did you see on Antarctica in this book? I hope you learned a lot and enjoy your field trip with your teachers to Antarctica.